We are here live in the nursery studio with Chris's dad, Marc Torre. Marc, welcome.
Thanks. It's great being here.
Now, you are a Pittsburgh resident?
Actually, the booming metropolis of Greensburg,
okay.
Pennsylvania, but we live in the suburbs of Greensburg in the equally bustling town of Dara, Pennsylvania. Population, maybe 100.
Nice. And you've lived there all your life?
No.
Oh.
I actually grew up outside of Pittsburgh. So I went to college in Latrobe, home of Arnold Palmer and formerly Rolling Rock beer. And then have lived outside of Greensburg since I started teaching up there in 1975.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And you've known Chris for 37 years? How old are you? 35.
35, yeah. Yeah, I've known him, yes.
Yeah. So I'm always fascinated with getting to know what Chris was like as a child, because I always want to know. I always think about whether we would be friends back then or not. Do you have any insight as to what he was like? There's a lot of theories.
Right, go ahead.
A lot of friends feel like he wasn't born, he was just shipped in a box.
Right.
And you had to assemble him.
Yeah, people have said that to me. There was a lot of heartache with Chris growing up.
Okay. Like he would break girls' hearts?
No.
No?
I don't think so. No, I think you two would have been friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Christopher was he was very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
He liked. It was very difficult to ever punish Christopher.
Okay.
Because if you would say, you can't watch TV for 3 days and you have to go into your room, that was absolutely fine with him. As a matter of fact, the classic story was I was a music teacher. Okay. And every year I would go to a music conference. And generally they were in far enough away that I would have to stay for a couple days. So, I don't know. I can't remember how old he was at the time. Do you remember how old you were?
I don't know. When would this have been?
I know.
You have to tell the story. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I go on the conference, and I'm gone for 3 days. And I come home, and I'm carrying my luggage, and I come back the hall, and Christopher's in his room, reading or doing something. I don't know what he was doing. And I said, "Hey, Christopher, how you doing?" He looks at me and he says, "Where are you going, Dad?"
He hadn't noticed.
I said, "Christopher, I've been gone for 3 days."
You just didn't notice?
He never noticed. And then I said, "Christopher, I've been gone for 3 days." And his reply was, "Well, nobody told me."
He wasn't like looking around for
no.
So he was always in his room, basically.
Well, no, he would come out of his room.
Okay.
But he had a lot of interests. I mean, he did. He played baseball and
he used to shovel a lot.
He shoveled a lot.
He used to dig.
Well, as a
hobby.
very young, in the back, he would dig into dirt piles.
Did that ever concern you?
No.
Okay.
No, it's when he was about 15 and he was still doing that with that little toy shovel. It bothered me a little bit, but he got past that.
Okay, good. And he used to you used to shoot things in the back. Didn't you used to shoot magazine cutouts?
Oh no, that wasn't at our place.
Oh, okay.
No.
All right.
No. Well, if he did, maybe I was at a conference and I didn't know.
Yeah. That was at Nikolai's house. We did that in his backyard once.
Right.
With BB guns.
Right.
So who did you like better, him or his sisters?
Oh, Steve. I love all my children equally.
I almost trapped you.
Yeah. Come on.
How was Chris as a teenager?
Great. No, I mean, honestly, we were very fortunate.
All right.
Never any problems. Well, no.
Were there?
No, never any problems.
Okay.
They were always, they always had really pretty clear-cut goals. you know, which was great. And I mean, he had a nice group of friends, and that was fine. No, I mean, I thought we were real lucky.
Yeah.
You know, like, didn't have to get calls in the middle of the night or
Nothing crazy.
No
arrest warrants.
No arrest warrants. No arrest warrants.
So if you describe Chris in one word, what would that word be?
Good question.
Mm-hmm.
He's very unique. I
Yeah,
mean, and,
I'll
and
say.
yes, and which I love.
Okay.
You know, that's the part I really like.
Yeah.
Because he's definitely abstract random, which is really cool. I've just found that to be the most endearing thing.
Yeah.
You know, with him is he does all kind of cool stuff. He has cool interests, and that's really. And it was like all of our children were all, you know, like his sisters. The one got a industrial engineering degree. The other one is a third grade elementary school teacher.
Yeah.
And then Christopher, you know, with the whole art thing, and I'm sure he probably told you that, and he better be verifying this, that when he was a senior in high school, I mean, he took like very academic classes, but he always had this art thing, and I really think, and I could be wrong, but I think there was a point where he was torn between whether he was going to do art or whether he was going to do like physics, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it was.
Did you ever combine the two?
That's, I mean, a lot of what I did was kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's why like the brewing thing was interesting to him because there was a science component,
Yeah.
you know, involved, which he, you know, really wrapped his arms around.
Yep. I agree. He does worms now.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them.
So he loves that. He loves
Yeah.
those things.
He tell you named them.
Did he name them?
A
You
few
named
of
all
them.
of them.
Well, there were a lot of them, but
Yeah,
he
there
was
were a
calling
lot
them
of
by some names the other day. I don't know.
Is there a story, like a never heard story or a favorite story other than the one where you came back from the conference that you have of Christopher Marc?
I'd have to think about that one. That one actually was a classic,
Yeah.
I thought.
It sounds
you
like a
know,
classic.
Yeah. And that one's absolutely verified. You know, there were other people there. I'd have to give that one some thought. I mean, there was never any really. I always thought Christopher was, like I said before, he was very goal driven. So, you know, he always had his eye on the ball. I mean, he was very funny. You know, I always get a kick out of his sense of humor. And he's liberal,
He is.
which I really like.
Yeah.
You know, because that's sort of,
Your jam.
yeah. Voted for McGovern.
Yeah.
You know, my first time in a presidential election. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so you know, he gets it honest. But I really don't have any like really crazy stories.
No,
we
like-
just sort of did like normal
Yeah.
son dad stuff. You know,
Nice.
it was yeah.
Did you guys have like a favorite hobby? Like, would you build shelves or?
Well, he would help with stuff.
Oh, okay.
You know, as a matter of fact, there's some concrete that we poured. He has his initials on
Oh,
it
okay.
at home. I forget how old you were when we did that. That was when the house was, not long after the house was built.
Yes, that was probably like,
You were little.
what, 9?
9. Yeah, 9. Yeah.
Nice. And do you remember the day he was born? I assume.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What was that? What was that like that day?
Well, interesting because there's sort of a backstory with the kids. His sisters, who are 3 years older than him, they'll be 39 this year. We didn't know we were having twins. It was during a time when, you know, like today, sonograms all the time. I mean, you know, a couple months in what's going on. Well, they only did sonograms like 40 years ago, at least in our area, if there was some type of medical problem or something, you know. So, like, the twins were born, and it was like, wow, you know.
So you found out that day that they were twins.
There. And unfortunately, you know, well, unfortunate, whether my wife had to have C-section at that time. So it was It was like right there, and they wouldn't even let me in the room back then. I think today you can. Yeah, but not back then. I mean, I was in a room, where guys would be smoking cigarettes and stuff, and it was crazy. So in any case, it was almost like when he was born, that we made an appointment. It was like, okay, well, 9 months is going to hit around May 13th, so we'll do it.
Yeah.
And so, I remember that day because I still couldn't go into the room, but at least, it happened and it was, So, it was
part
cool.
of you think that there's going to be two of them because of the twins?
No.
Okay.
Because if I'm not mistaken with Christopher, they may have done, there may have been some testing on that, a sonogram or something like that.
Okay. Man, 2 Christophers. That'd be crazy.
Oh, jeez.
2 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now your son is a father.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
And
good dad, too.
Good dad.
Mm-hmm.
Good dad. Good dad. What makes him, what do you see as him as a good dad? What
Well,
makes him
I mean,
a good dad?
he's, you can see just with the way he interacts with Nellie, real proud of him.
Nice.
He does, both Tristan and Christopher, they do an awesome job.
I agree. And Nellie's great.
She's
Nellie's
great.
perfect.
Oh, man. We just love the crap out of her. I mean,
Yeah.
lots of pictures, a lot of fun.
Very good. Very good. Any words of wisdom for Christopher as he further alongs his fatherness that you learned from raising him? Or to any dads out there listening.
Well, I just think stay involved with your kids and your family.
Yeah.
And it's a hard balance because, like today, it's almost imperative that the husband and the wife have to work. I was very lucky. Mm-hmm. My wife stayed at home with the kids, which was, I thought, invaluable. Mm-hmm. So that part was great. But a lot of people don't have that luxury today, in order to
Yeah. Ignore that.
I love that song. No. But no, I mean, it's much more difficult. I was very fortunate, because my wife was like the anchor, the rock,
Nice.
Yeah, she definitely pulled the weight,
Yeah.
But in any case, that's the deal.
Well, there you go. Backstory of Chris from his own father. Thank you so much.
It was my pleasure.
That was
I
great.
begged to be on the show,
There
too,
you go.
so this was good.
Asking you shall receive.
Yeah.